Hey everybody, this is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. Well, good afternoon. I decided to wait till the end of the market before doing, or at least the stock market, before doing my video today. And I kind of wanted to show you some of the results of our crazy rate announcement day. So all markets were pretty boring and stable. On the top I have the S&P 500, then I have Bitcoin, then Ethereum. And then this is just comparing Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Bitcoin was actually outpacing the market to begin with until right before the announcement. And Bitcoin dove and the stock market kind of stayed steady. And then we had this wild swing right in the middle. And initially, just the numbers coming out, the market popped. And then when the press conference started, then things sold off big time. So I was actually very nervous. I was just telling the Pro channel right before that I've been a little nervous because all of the news, all of the sentiment out there has all been positive, that we're probably going to hear a few dovish types of comments here and there, and that there might be, you know, some end to some of the inflation woes that we're experiencing. And when the market, especially from the major news outlets, starts feeding you one thing, it makes me nervous because a lot of times the opposite will happen. They like to set you up and then pull the rug. That's kind of how that works. So we were set up a bit and then we've fallen off pretty good. The cool thing is that you can see down here that Bitcoin was less affected than Bitcoin, or than the rest of the market. So even though the S&P and all those, they all kind of really dove hard, Bitcoin retained a bit of its strength, even though it was still pushed down. And you can see how things go in lockstep. So by the end, let me just go up to stop comparing. This is the 1 minute chart on Bitcoin at current. So market closes at 20, so right here, and we've still sold off a little bit more, and we're starting to find our footing a little bit. So now the question is did this mess up everything, right? Because Bitcoin was on this awesome trajectory, and what will the impact of a day like this look like? So let's cut over to the daily chart and take a look at where we are. And you'll notice that in the past, especially when the market drops off like 2.5%, Bitcoin could have been 5% down if it was really in a bad place. But because of the strength of the market, even though we're down, it isn't anything close to what we could have done if we were in this really depressed market sentiment for Bitcoin. So there's actually a lot of strength here, which is pretty positive. But let's look at the S&P really quick, just because it does have an impact. And it's kind of interesting that the shape of the S&P closing today was a pretty big red bar. Well, let's just take a look at the AI. So this is updated with today's closed data. And I have updated it. This is what our chart looks like. And our most similar experience in the past was February 29th of 2008. So we all know that the summer of 2008, it really dropped off. But it is kind of interesting to see that just how well this is tracking. And yes, there is a little bit of downside here, but the shape of this is a little different because these lows all kind of lined up and then there was a bit of a break. We are finding support, or we're just touching the tops of these candles here, which actually is a there's actually support here. Not that the stock market, cares. I mean, it could slice right through it, but it's interesting that the majority of outcomes are positive. I mean, this is pretty unusual. Our average next day is a positive 0.5%. 2 days from now, a full percent. And then we're slowly climbing almost throughout the next month or so. And I know, you can't look at these things in a vacuum, but just from a pure chart standpoint, this chart is not showing a ton of weakness. So anything that's going on out there in the broad market has not been priced in, or we are kind of being, there actually might be a little bit more strength just given the pure shape of this chart. Kind of a little bit counterintuitive because with rates rising and the market should struggle, but what the point might be is that it may not happen immediately, especially coming into the holiday season and things. I don't know what the impact will be, but as far as unemployment not being super low and we haven't seen a ton of things beyond the inflation problem. It's kind of interesting. The companies may do better than we think. You never know. So anyway, this is just kind of an interesting viewpoint into this. It's just very interesting to see the shape of this. And every time we've had that similar shape, we've had a positive outcome. So that's peculiar. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin and take a look at where we are here. Now, I've been saying that ever since we crossed this this descending triangle, broke out the top, that we're essentially moving to higher highs and we're starting to move out. And does a day like this derail that? Same question, except for on Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin, if I plug in the current day, so this is where we are right now. If we closed right here, we're pretty much predicting the exact same thing, that this is a temporary move, which it's amazing because as volatile as a day like today is, for our chart to remain intact, you can see how we have this. This was a resistance that has flipped to support, and we're still messing with that support. And if this holds, which it likely will, because we have spent enough time above it to establish it as support, it won't take very much before we start seeing moves to the upside. And in this case, not only is the average positive and growing, but our median is positive. So there's a lot of evidence in our most recent experience to say that we're in a better place. I guess I need to click on the correct. This is the most like chart right here. So we've had this kind of downward portion here. We've had a strong move to the upside, and we're leveling off. And it shouldn't be long before we start moving to a higher level. And so these are our other most like scenarios. You can see there's a lot of strength in the outcomes of similar charts. So very fascinating, and it's something that I agree with. I believe that we are at the bottom of the bear market. We're starting to break out. We have exited the red zone. Our averages are in a different place. When we exited the red zone over here, our averages were still coming down and they were kind of wonky. Same with our 100. It was really coming down steep. And now we've exited the red zone and we have flat averages, and things are actually looking pretty positive. So I'm going to zoom in a little more so you can see, but I wanted to point out that our 50 is no longer capturing these upper highs up here. We're now taking this close and all of these in our average. So what does that mean? That means that it is very likely that our current 50 is going to start trending upwards. We are now replacing our lower candles with higher ones, and we're going to start turning upward. And this is the next show of strength that will make a big difference. It's this move up here that when the 50 starts turning up and does it in a sustained way, that's when we start crossing. These have been parallel for 3 weeks, and now we're going to finally start moving towards a cross. So a couple more weeks and we could be really close to a cross if it doesn't happen before then. Plus, with our 200 descending, this will give us a chance to have a golden cross probably in December. So the averages look really nice and things are really progressing well as far as the slow methodical move off of lows and putting in better prices up higher. So nothing's broken here. This is definitely progress to the upside. Ethereum's having a pretty rough day. Very down 4.5% versus the rest of the market. So the nice thing is that it has a little bit more room. We definitely have moved the most on Ethereum, and so it can be a little more volatile than the rest. But same thing with Ethereum. We only have 1 or 2 days of prices up here, and we're going to be dropping very fast. So 2 days from now, our 50 will likely start curving upwards for a long time. And a sustained curve upward on the 50 will cradle our price action, give us support, and bring us to higher levels. So that's very positive. So I feel like today, this is pretty par for the course for what an emotional day it was out on the rest of the market with rate hikes and all of the fears and uncertainty that came from that. But there's a lot of positivity baked into the shape of these charts. So if you just shut your eyes to all of the noise and news and look at the way traders are behaving and thinking, traders are optimistic, and it shows in the macro results of price. There are a lot of alts just got really beat down today, mostly because of Ethereum. We had a couple of crazy ones though. I don't know how people managed to do this, but I think it's trying to move to the upside, which it sure is accomplishing that. A down day like today, for that to happen is pretty impressive. And then there were a couple of others down here. Litecoin was kind of a surprise. So Litecoin exited the red zone, has found resistance on the 100 and then broke through it up to the 200 today. So pretty amazing move there. Render, we've been following for quite a while, and it's just gained strength. This might be kind of a temporary blow off top. I don't know if this will be local or not, but pretty impressive move over the past few weeks there. And and then finally LIT, it's doing the same thing. There's a lot that exited the red zone a while ago and are starting to peak out. I think they still have more room, but these are going to need to slow down for a minute and grab a level of support first. It'd be worth looking at Dogecoin because Dogecoin, we were kind of watching to see what would happen. Today might be our first bearish engulfing candle, but it's nice to pocket a little bit of profits when we were up in these higher ranges. So we're trying to play that smart. And apart from that, nothing else is really kind of going on. Just kind of one of those days where we need to wait for a brand new day so that we can start a new candle and move on from here. But I feel like this is just fine. I feel like a higher consolidation is great. And according to the shape of the chart and the AI, I think we're gonna start in on some serious green days ahead. We just need to get one final shakeout before we move to the next level. So that's what I've got for you today. I hope everyone enjoys their afternoon, and we will catch you all tomorrow. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.